Welcome back to episode number 5. Last week's episode was pretty sad, boy, so I'm going to keep the mood a little bit lighter. And in this episode, I'm not going to detail every single run because this week was a recovery week. But I will talk about the importance of recovery and talk about how to program a deload week, what that is, and maybe why you don't want to program in a full rest day every single week of your training. So we'll start out with the question, what is a deload week? So with every fitness goal that you're trying to work toward, whether it's a marathon or a powerlifting competition or just general bodybuilding to get as big as you can, you're planning in periods in that cycle where you're going to be taking some of the stress off of your body and letting your body take advantage of some recovery time so that all of that stress you've been putting on your body turns into these physical adaptations that make you either faster or stronger or a better endurance athlete. So for example, in a strength program, every 4th week you might have a deload week where you take down the weight that you're going to be using during your workouts so that your body can recover from the last 3 weeks of adding either sets or reps in volume. When it comes to running, you're essentially doing the same thing. It's just you're running more miles, more time on your feet instead of adding more reps, more weight. So what that looks like in a typical 12 to 16 week marathon training plan is every 3 to 4 weeks, or every block of the training plan, you'll have a week where you decrease your volume by about 20 to 25% to allow your body to adapt to all of that stress that you've been giving it the last 3 to 4 weeks. And this is really important because if you just try to keep adding more and more and more stress, you're likely going to end up either overtraining or just straight out injured and out of the game and not be able to keep on making incremental fitness gains. Because I ran my 17-mile long run on Sunday, that 7-day period from Sunday to Saturday then became 58 miles instead of 45 miles. So it was kind of a wash, but this entire week, instead of doing a track workout or fartleks or any speed work or anything, I just ran every single one of my runs easy. So talking about recovery, you'll notice that in this week, I didn't have any full rest days. I think there's a common misconception that you have to take a rest day every single week. A full rest day where you're not doing any running or cross training or anything. You're kind of just taking it easy all day. And maybe you might use the roller or get a massage or whatever. What I've come to learn in the last 10 years of running is that you don't have to have your training week be 7 days. The body doesn't know when the arbitrary start and end date of a training week is. That's just more for you to be able to understand what your body's doing and how many miles you're running and how to plan for that. But because the body is constantly changing and adapting to all of the stress you're putting on it during a training cycle, that set point of where the start and end of the week is constantly changing. In general, around 7 to 10 days is where you should aim for a training week and when you should plan out when your next quality session will be. To me, a rest day is a line of demarcation of when that next training week is going to start. If you're someone that's trying to just finish a marathon and maybe it's your 1st or 2nd year running, then you probably should have full rest days planned into your training plan because you don't want to ramp up your mileage too quickly and get injured like I did my first marathon where I broke my foot. But for more advanced runners like myself who have been running for almost 10 years and have done 9 marathons and have a lot of experience with going through these different training plans, I've come to learn that a full rest day usually isn't necessary unless I'm really going through it and feeling like crap and not recovering very well. And it might actually be more advantageous to run more volume and not take that rest day because that extra 6 to 8 miles at an easy pace every week for 10, 12, 16 weeks throughout the training cycle could be the difference between running a 3:02 and a 2:59, which is the entire goal of this series, to run a sub 3-hour marathon. And if I can get that just a little bit extra volume, squeeze out those extra miles, then I'd rather do that than not reach that goal because I didn't take advantage of running those extra easy miles when I felt okay and was recovering well. Yeah, me from the future, I completely forgot to talk about the fact that this week I made the dumb decision to do 3 training sessions in the gym, one of those including a full leg workout. Now, I didn't do anything super heavy or anything, but the squats, they destroyed me. My adductors were sore for like 4 or 5 days. This is why it's important to keep doing the training that you're doing while you start doing more running, and maybe just lower the volume that you're doing. And after a few miles in each run, my legs wouldn't really hurt that much. And it was really mostly just my adductors on the inside of my thighs. And this took like 4 or 5 days for my legs to finally feel better again. And I was really scared that for my 12-mile long run on Saturday, my legs would just be cooked. And it turns out it wasn't that way at all, but just something to think about, I guess, in the future. So that's what I want to leave you with, is that it's all about feel. How are you recovering? Are you recovering well? Do you actually need that rest day? If you don't need that rest day, then maybe just run a few miles easy instead of taking an entire rest day and not taking advantage of that extra mileage that you could be putting in that could propel you to run a better race or a faster race if that's your goal. So with all that said, at the time of this recording, we are 6 weeks and 1 day out from the Cleveland Marathon. If you like this video, please hit the like button. I've noticed a lot of people that are watching these videos are not subscribed. So if you could subscribe, that would really help me. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And that's kind of just an arbitrary number that I made up, but it's a good goal. And that's going to be it for this one. Again, hit the like button if you like this, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.
And that's a wrap on the week. 45 miles.